Hey, this is Doug Jones, and you are listening to the Don't Go Out There podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. We are joined today by another true legend of the business, a career spanning over 5 different decades, including titles like Hellboy, The Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, and the upcoming Demon Detective, releasing September 26th on Apple, the legendary Mr. Doug Jones. Mr. Jones, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. It sounds
Oh,
like
it is.
September 26th came and went already, so it's out there now.
It did. It's
Right.
out there. Go check it
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
everybody. Uh, Mr. Doug, we like to start off all of our interviews just by asking, what is it that got you into acting? I know you graduated from Ball State and had a minor in theater. Was this always a passion of yours?
Oh, yeah. Since I was a kid, I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, and as a geeky, tall, skinny, goofy kid with a skinny neck that got made fun of, I found solace and escape in my TV and at the movie theater. So when I saw goofy people like uh, Barney Fife on the Andy
Mm-hmm.
Griffith Show or Gilligan's Island, Gomer Pyle, Dick Van Dyke was a hero of mine, Danny Kaye, Jerry Lewis, those kind of characters made me realize like, oh, maybe there's a place for me and it's on film or in the TV set. So that's what my early inspiration was that I pursued it since I was about, 6, 7 years old.
Right. That's absolutely. So, okay, before we get into the Demon Detective, you're obviously most known for these elaborate creatures that you help bring to life throughout all these films. We've had Robert Englund on who shared his nightmares, pun intended there, in the makeup chair. I'm a big Star Trek fan, Captain Saru. So I've always wondered about that makeup process. Can you kind of share some of those experiences you've had in the makeup chair?
Well, I could talk for that about for 3 hours, but
Yeah.
but encapsulate it, it's never comfortable. And the assumption is that you must love getting into makeup. No, I do not love it. I never have loved
Right.
it. I love the outcome. I love the product we're making. I love the characters I've been able to play over these 39 years I've been acting. And but it's a lot to go through physically, mentally, emotionally.
Mm,
When you're doing a movie like Pan's Labyrinth, and you have and both my characters, the Fawn and the Pale Man, took 5 and 6 hours respectively to get into.
mm,
Once you've gone through that process, and then on film, I have to keep my energy up and my
right.
mental capacity there while I'm spouting off paragraphs of Spanish dialogue that I don't speak, but I had memorized. So brain, body, emotions all have to be in top form to perform in a character like those. So it takes a lot out of me. And that's why, now that I'm 65 years old, I feel like I've kind of been there, done that. I put my time in, and I'm exploring more characters now with my own human face. That's why
Right.
when you saw Demon Detective,
Hmm.
it was me playing a demon that looked kind of like Doug Jones with some scars on him, and it was way more an easier task in the prep process for sure.
Absolutely. Was Pan's Labyrinth the longest that you've had to sit at one time for makeup process? No,
No,
what
the
what was
longest
that?
ever was the Hellboy movies when I
Mm,
played
okay.
Abe Sapien.
Right.
If you saw me just in shorts and a lot of Bluefish guy from head to toe showing, that took 7 hours a day.
Oof,
Wow. Mm,
Yeah.
goodness.
golly.
Okay, last thing before we jump into it. It's Halloween time at the time of us recording this. Like I mentioned, I met you at Spooky Empire. I love the movie. A role of yours that's most nostalgic to me personally is Billy Butcherson in Hocus Pocus. You got to revisit that role in the sequel. Can you tell us about how you felt to, revisit that character almost 30 years after the original?
Yeah, that whole Hocus Pocus has been such a joy for me to be a part of. When I grew up, our annual movie watching was The Wizard of Oz when I was a
Uh,
kid. It came on network TV once a year. And that's before we had home video or streaming. None of that existed, right? So you had to
right.
wait for it to come on network television and put the date on your calendar, pop the corn, get the make the Kool-Aid and sit down and watch your movie. Um, so if I ever met anybody from that movie, I would implode with joy and wet myself, probably. So when I'm doing the convention circuit now, like Spooky Empire last year, and I meet people who have grown up watching Hocus Pocus every
Yeah.
year. I get that same experience, like, oh, I know exactly what they're going through because now the Billy Butcherson is right there in front of them. I would have died if the Scarecrow was in front of me. I totally get it, right? So so the popularity of that movie, of course, it didn't start off big. It started off as a bit of a fizzle at the box office back in 1993 because they put it out in July, and then it kind of disappeared after a couple of weeks at the theater, not doing very well. Well, then television and home video is what saved us. Over the years, it's only snowballed and grown and grown and grown to the point where it's on all month on the Freeform channel now, and streaming on Disney Plus, and it goes and goes and goes to the point where it became so popular that warranted a part two. Thank you everybody who loved the movie, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have been able to make Hocus Pocus 2. And coming back together 29 years later, yes, 3 decades later, was surreal. And I had to keep pinching myself. Is this really happening? And a lot had changed in that time. When I started the first Hocus Pocus, I was a relative unknown. And now coming back, it's 30 years later, and Bette Midler's asking me, how was it to film The Shape of Water? Oh, you must love Guillermo del Toro. That's a conversation I wouldn't have had 30 years ago with her.
Wow. Right.
Right. So it was an amazing experience, and to feel more like a peer with these very famous ladies when all of us immortals showed up in Hocus Pocus too.
I love that. And like I mentioned, I love the movies. Let's get into why you're here. The Demon Detective, again, it released and is streaming on Apple, released September 26th. You headline as Usgaroth. The movie is stacked with legends of the business. Vivica A. Fox, the legend, Adrienne Barbeau, met her. She's very sweet as well.
Yeah.
Dustin Gullidge. Tell us what you can about the movie.
Right. Well, our director, T.C. DeWitt, and director-writer T.C., got a hold of me with this role. And he also kind of knew and heard that I didn't want to be wearing so much rubber makeup anymore. So he thought, here's a demon role where I can have you look like yourself. That was the first thing that appealed to me. Like, oh, interesting to channel something otherworldly with this human face. Uh, and so between that and this whole story of this demon detective played by Dustin Guillen, Gullidge, yes, and he was fantastic to work with. All my scenes were shot in one day. We got all my stuff done in one day. So you're coming into this movie shoot, you're meeting this lead actor, and hi, how are you? My name's Doug. And then 2 minutes later, I'm crawling on him and practically licking his face. Right. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And he was such a good sport about all of it. He was a consummate actor that understood we're playing these characters that need to go to the extreme or it's not going to work on film. And he let it all happen. So I'm very, very happy with how that filming experience. And TC was a great director. I loved what he did with too, making, even though I looked like a human-ish with scars placed on me all over my body.
Right.
There were otherworldly things were happening. I kept showing up and disappearing all throughout this entire the vapid void that he went into. He kind of crossed a barrier into a void, and that's where he finally meets me, the demon who's been haunting him for all of his life since he was a child. And I'm back to claim him now for the final time. At least I think so. We'll see how that works out for those who haven't seen the movie yet. But I like the intrigue of that, the mystery of that. And we all have something that haunted us in our childhood. And so that storyline of being confronted with what haunted us as an adult now with a bit more power and a bit more experience behind us, I like that whole storyline and being a part of it. Someone's got to play the bad guy in a good story. That was me.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody either. What surprised me the most was how good the special effects were. I mean, I don't know what the budget was, but can you talk to us a little bit about the special effects? You mentioned the void. Was it Jeff Bellini that was responsible for most of those?
Right. I wasn't aware of when on set, I didn't see any of that. Of course, that was all in post-production. So
Right. Okay.
they did end up seeing the movie now. They did such a fantastic job with that. On the day when you're filming something like that, you're told, okay, from over there, there's going to be this green swirl that turns into a big thing, and so you just have to kind of go, oh, and imagine it, right?
Right.
And when that senior demon shows up and puts me in my place, well, that he was also a supernatural appearance that came out of nowhere, and then of course he and I have a bit of a fight scene with lots of special effects thrown in, and I thought it was beautifully, seamlessly done. And I don't know what the budget was either, honestly. So it looked like a big studio movie to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I mean. It was very surprising. And you brought him up, TC DeWitt, writer, director. He was writer on a personal favorite short of mine, Friday the 13th Vengeance.
Uh,
Can you tell me a little bit more about working with him?
yeah, yeah. What much like my favorite director in the world, Guillermo del Toro. And then here's
Right.
the thing: every director I work with knows that Guillermo is going to be my favorite, and they don't worry, and they don't mind that. Everyone
Right.
respects him so much. I told that to TC, and I said, you're vying for second place in my life, and he was totally okay with that. But I'll tell you what, he's so in the running for that second place. It's not, he's so easy to work with. He's a very good actor's director. He understood what we were going through and helped motivate us to find those right moments. There's a lot of heavy emotion going on in that entire movie, so much. And so in my scene with this big crescendo, this big climax of again, this grown up facing his childhood demon,
Right.
uh, there was so much there, layers of things to uncover, and he had such a great way of motivating without too many words. A bad director is someone who overspices the soup, if that makes any sense. Someone who gives you micro direction. The too much information, and all of a sudden your actor is like feeling stilted, and and you're making their window of performance smaller and smaller and
Right.
smaller the more direction you give them.
Right.
TC gave me some breathing room, and he gave me some room to explore, and that's where the sense of humor came from in that. I don't think that was originally in the script for me to be quite as sassy as I was,
Okay.
but I loved like toying with him and talking about his little sister with like a sneer in my face. I mean, I was disgusting, and it was almost to the point of being funny, but it was still disgusting. He found a great he helped me find that little niche to play in.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, he sounds like a great guy.
It is awesome. I know we don't have a lot of time, Mr. Jones, but can I ask one more question about just working with Adrienne Barbeau? Like I mentioned, I met her at another convention last year. She was so sweet. She's got that iconic voice, Stevie Wayne from The Fog. Loved meeting her. She was so. How was it just working with her, real quick?
Yeah, she's one of those again. As far as people that make me starstruck, they're people from my youth that I watched on TV or in film, and Adrienne Barbeau is one of those people. I saw her as B. Arthur's daughter in Maude, the TV series, way back in the 70s.
Love the Golden
So
Girls.
right, yeah, and the Golden Girls, forget about it, right? But Maude was B. Arthur's, breakout, and Adrian played her daughter in the show, series regular. So I saw her every week, and thought she was great and funny on that. And so now meeting her as an adult, and she is still, yeah, we're all older now, and she is vibrant and young to this day. And like you said, you met her, you know how engaging and eye contacty she is, and smiley and huggy she is. So I did not meet her on the filming of this movie. I met her after the fact. In fact, there was an industry screening that they'd done of the movie that I was not able to attend. But I was at a convention with her. We were both guests at this convention shortly after that. She came over to my table and I was like, "Ah, Adrian." She's like, "Doug." Ah. So we hugged it out, and she told me how much they missed me at the screening. That was very sweet of her. But we'd both seen the movie by now, so we both were complimenting each other's work. Like, "You were so amazing." "No, you were so amazing." "No, you were so that's nice when you can have that exchange with someone you admired from your childhood, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. We're about to let you go, but Mr. Jones, we want to thank you immensely for coming on the show. It's truly an honor. You are a legend, seriously. Demon Detective released on Apple and other streaming sites on September 26th. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. You frequent conventions like we mentioned. You got any appearances coming up that you like to shout out, or just anything you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, the next couple things coming up for me, I'm going over to the UK.
Oh, nice.
This next weekend, October, I'm gonna get the dates wrong, like 11, 12-ish. I'll be at Scotland Comic Con in Edinburgh, Scotland. The weekend after that, which is like the 18th, 19th, I'm going to be at For the Love of Horror in Manchester, England.
Nice.
So those are some UK appearances, and then one more for the year in Chicago. I'll be going to Trek to Chicago. It's a creation entertainment convention. It's a Star Trek centric convention, Trek to Chicago, and that is the weekend before Thanksgiving, so November 21, 2021, something like that. And then in the new year, 26, I have two cruises coming up. The Comic Con cruise, it's the official Comic Con cruise, and
Wow.
that's end of January. and I believe they still have slots open. So that's something worth Googling. And then those cruises are a hoot of a time. And then the other one I think that's already booked up and already full is the Star Trek the cruise convention cruise in later in February.
Right.
Yeah, the last week of February. So that's what I know of for right now without my calendar in front of me.
Sounds like you're a busy man. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Absolutely.
if you get the opportunity to meet Doug, I highly recommend it. He's incredibly nice. And we had Trevor Newland on the show recently.
I love
And
him.
he
Yes,
spoke
he's
so
one of my
highly of you and
puppies.
how
Yeah.
kind you were. So thank you for giving back to the youth as well. So thank you so much for everything, Doug. You're a
Oh,
legend.
thanks so much for
Honestly.
having me, guys. You guys are wonderful.
You're
Thank you.
wonderful.
Hey,
Thank you, sir.
Okay.